Lesson 9-1 is on the midpoint and distance formulas. You should remember these from geometry. And we might have done distance formula in Algebra 1, I'm not sure. But the midpoint formula, so what you're trying to do is find the midpoint of a segment. So if you have the two endpoints, you want to find what point is in the middle. So the midpoint of segment PQ, with point P having x1 and y1, and point Q having x2 and y2, is the point M, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, comma, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. And notice this is an ordered pair. This is the x-coordinate, this is the y-coordinate. And it's basically the averages of the coordinates and points. Let's try an example. Find the midpoint of the segment that has endpoints negative 5.3, comma, negative 8.6, and negative 18.7, comma, 1. So the midpoint is going to be negative 3.5 plus negative 18.7. That's x1 plus x2 over 2. And that's the x-coordinate of my midpoint, comma, negative 8.6 plus 1 over 2, and that's my y2 plus y1 divided by 2, and that's the y-coordinate of my midpoint. And at this point you can use your calculator, add those two, divide by 2, you'll get negative 12, comma, negative 3.8. Now, if you have the midpoint formula in your calculator, and the same thing goes for the distance formula, I don't want you to use them to do the homework. I want you to practice actually using the midpoint formula and the one that we're going to look at next, the distance formula. You can use your calculator to do the arithmetic, but don't use the program. And remember that the distance formula is the distance between 2 points. If one point is x1, y1, and the other point is x2, y2, then the distance d between the two of them is the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So let's try an example of this. Find the distance between negative 6, negative 7, and 11, negative 12. So the distance is the square root. And actually, it doesn't matter which ordered pair you call x1, y1, and which one you call x2, y2. Just make sure that you subtract in the same order. So let's do the square root. I'm going to do 11 minus a negative 6 squared plus negative 12 minus a negative 7 squared, and take the square root of the whole thing. So that's going to give me the square root of 17 squared plus negative 5 squared, or the square root of 289 plus 25, which equals the square root of 314. And I'm okay if you want to leave it exact. I don't remember what the book asks for, but you can also punch that into your calculator and round it, and that would be approximately 17.720, rounded to the nearest tens, hundreds, thousands place. Now remember, when you're doing your homework, I want you to actually go through these steps. Don't use the program in your calculator. Actually, you can use the program in your calculator if you want to check it, but I want to see your work.